African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation on the 25th of July, 2025. From July 19th to 25th of this year, the armed forces of the Russian Federation carried out 10 group strikes, including 3 with high-precision air, land, and sea-based weapons, Kinzhal aeroballistic hypersonic missiles, and attack unmanned aerial vehicles, during which enterprises of the military-industrial complex of Ukraine, the infrastructure of military airfields, assembly and storage sites for attack unmanned aerial vehicles, fuel depots, missile and artillery weapons and ammunition, territorial centers for the recruitment of the armed forces of Ukraine, as well as temporary deployment points of Ukrainian armed formations, nationalists, and foreign mercenaries were hit. In addition, for Patriot anti-aircraft missile system launchers and a US-made and MPQ-65 multifunctional radar station were destroyed over the week. Over the course of the week, units of the North Force Group liberated the settlement of Varakino in Sumy Oblast. Concentrations of manpower and equipment of 2 mechanized, 2 airborne assault, a Jaeger brigades, an unmanned systems brigade and 2 assault regiments of the Ukrainian armed forces were defeated. In the Kharkiv region, units of the group improved their tactical position, defeated formations of a mechanized brigade of the Ukrainian armed forces and 2 territorial defense brigades. Over the week, in the area of responsibility of the North Force Group, the enemy's losses amounted to over 1,150 servicemen, 2 tanks, 6 armored combat vehicles and 37 cars. 29 field artillery guns, 2 ammunition depots and 2 electronic warfare stations were destroyed. Units of the West Group of forces occupied more advantageous lines and positions. They defeated the formations of 4 mechanized, assault, airmobile brigades of the Ukrainian armed forces and 2 territorial defense brigades. The enemy lost more than 1,610 servicemen, 9 armored combat vehicles, including an HMMWV armored car and a Max Pro armored vehicle made in the USA, 97 vehicles, 9 artillery pieces, 42 ammunition depots, 20 electronic and counter-battery warfare stations, including 2 TPQ-50 counter-battery warfare stations made in the USA, were destroyed. Units of the Southern Group of Forces continued to advance deep into the enemy's defense and liberated the settlement of Belaya Gora in the Donetsk People's Republic. The manpower and equipment of 5 mechanized, airmobile, mountain assault brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, 2 territorial defense brigades and a National Guard brigade were defeated. Over the week, the Armed Forces of Ukraine in this direction lost over 1,135 servicemen, 14 combat armored vehicles, including an M113 armored personnel carrier and a US-made HMMWV armored car, 24 vehicles, 9 field artillery guns and 12 ammunition depots were destroyed. Units of the Center Group of Forces continued offensive operations on the territory of the Donetsk People's Republic and the Dnipropetrovsk region. The settlements of Novotoretsk, Novoekonomichesko, and Zvarivo of the Donetsk People's Republic have been liberated. The formations of 5 mechanized, airborne assault, 3 assault, Ranger, airborne brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a Marine brigade, 2 territorial defense brigades and 2 National Guard brigades have been defeated. The enemy lost up to 2,975 servicemen, 22 combat armored vehicles, including a US-made M113 armored personnel carrier and 2 multiple launch rocket system combat vehicles. 55 vehicles and 30 artillery pieces were destroyed, including 2 155mm self-propelled artillery mounts Braveheart made in the UK and 2 155mm self-propelled artillery mounts Paladin made in the US. Over the past week, units of the East Troop Group advanced deep into the enemy's defense, inflicting damage on the personnel and equipment of 3 mechanized, mountain assault brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a Marine brigade, and 2 territorial defense brigades. The losses of the armed forces of Ukraine amounted to over 1,360 servicemen, 21 combat armored vehicles, 62 cars, 15 field artillery guns, 5 ammunition depots for electronic warfare and counter-battery stations. Units of the Dnieper Troop Group inflicted damage on formations of mechanized, mountain assault brigades of the armed forces of Ukraine and 3 territorial defense brigades. The enemy lost more than 420 servicemen, 37 vehicles, and 9 artillery guns. 33 electronic warfare and counter-battery stations and 17 ammunition depots were destroyed. Air defense means shot down 27 guided aerial bombs, 6 rocket projectiles of the US-made HIMARS multiple launch rocket system, and a rocket projectile of the Czech-made Vampire multiple launch rocket system for long-range guided Neptune missiles, and 2049 unmanned aerial vehicles of the airplane type. On the night of July 24th to 25th this year, 4 unmanned enemy boats were destroyed in the northwestern part of the Black Sea. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, destroyed 664 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 72,402 unmanned aerial vehicles, 624 anti-aircraft missile systems, 24,324 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,581 multiple launch rocket system combat vehicles, 27,815 field artillery guns and mortars, 38,681 units of special military automotive equipment. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.